Hello and welcome to the Enneagram video series. I am here with some of my type 7s today. I am so excited to get to talk to them. But before we get started, I want to give you an introduction as to what it means to be a type 7. So type 7s are called the Enthusiast, and they just see the beauty in life. They're always down for an adventure. They are in the head or thinking triad, which is also called the fear triad. So the other side of being a 7 is that they fear experiencing negative emotions. So they love to fill their life with the exciting and the beautiful. And the idea is that if you keep doing that forever and ever, then temporarily and then permanently, you can avoid some of those harder emotions. They are going for the most enjoyable experience at any given time. And so they have trouble being in the moment because they're always looking to that next great adventure. They are always the eternal optimist. In stress, they move towards the negative aspects of the type 1. And so they can become pessimistic and perfectionistic and think in black and white. But in growth, they move towards the positive aspects of the type 5. So they are better at slowing down and they're more comfortable with being alone. And they take things seriously and are more fascinated by life. So, hello to my type 7s. Thank you for joining me today. I'm so excited. To get started, I'd love to hear what your favorite part is about being a type 7.
One of the things I've heard recently is that a type 7 is described by someone who can lift the spirits of the entire room just by being yourself.
Seeking that adventure causes us to be in all sorts of situations. And in that, we seek to connect with people. We have that flexibility to kind of try something new, which allows us to make more lasting relationships, I would feel, with various people.
Good at networking. Very good at making easy connections, very good communicators naturally. And I feel like all the 7s that I've met and I've been told about, myself included, we're pretty just magnetic people that people just want to be around.
You know, it is easier for us to like find the positive in any situation and to kind of just like feed off of that and then use that energy to kind of, shape a situation. Even if it's a bad one, there's usually a time when the 7 can find a positive in it and be like.
Great. So then on the opposite side, of course, what are some frustrations that you have found with being a type 7?
We hate people to rain on our parade. I know for me, I get like really ticked off pretty easily when someone wants you ever meet somebody that just like walks into the room, they just suck all the energy out? Oh, like there's nothing, and it almost kind of like becomes selfish in a way where it's like you're ruining my good time. and I hate that.
The highs are really high and the lows are really low. And what I have also found to be a struggle is that as a 7, I'm always on the go, like go, go, go. And, my typical day might look like, I'm going to go get coffee with a friend, and I'm going to go meet with 3 clients, and then I'm going to go to Orange Theory class, and then I'm going to follow it with a hot yoga class because that's just what I need to do. And then that quickly leads to burnout so fast, and then I'm not my best self.
An issue for 7s typically is like commitment. So, we like to do so many things, and it's hard for us to choose like what one thing we're really going to stick to. And then I think sometimes if we do choose one thing, we get really frustrated that we're not able to, still be doing all the other things. You have that fear of missing out syndrome.
I'm always thinking about what's next. So this lack of satisfaction, although I did so much right in that moment, I'm always looking to the future of like what I can adapt, what I can change. And it kind of has this like never satisfied feeling that's always left with 7s because we're always wanting more.
For our sisters out there that are maybe trying to decide if they really are a type 7, what part of your type description really sold you on the fact that you were a type 7?
So I'm someone that loves to brainstorm, and I thrive on it. I want to brainstorm about anything and everything. And I feel that is part of the type 7, that not only are we always on the go, but our minds are rapidly moving. And I am really working on synthesizing that information at all times.
This was kind of like the nail in the coffin, was the reading about how much we avoid and why we avoid.
Sevens always wanting to go after the next worthwhile experience. I've always been a jack of all trades and a master of like none, because I wanted to get involved in any and everything.
The independence for sure is something that I've kind of always had, being my own kind of trailblazer, wanting to be a part of everything.
So I would love to hear if you enjoy the something big itself or the anticipation for the something big.
For me, it's totally the leading up to something big, because I'm like, okay, here's all the fun and exciting things, or just projects that I have to do to lead up to the big event. And then when the event happens, I'm like, okay, great, I'm ready to move on to the next thing.
The excitement of it coming is great. And then when it's here, it's almost like it falls flat. You're like, okay, that was cool, but maybe I built it up a little bit more in my mind.
We are constantly setting unrealistic expectations on people, which has gotten me in trouble, on experiences. I've always wanted to go to Israel to see the Holy Land, but then I don't want to go because I don't want to be disappointed.
Looking at wings a little bit, sixes are always thinking ahead. They're very family oriented, and they really want security. So for Emily, you are a 7-wing 6. How does your 6-wing impact your 7?
I really need security, and I really need to feel supported by others. I think about it in 2 circles, so a circle within another. So my outer circle is all of the acquaintances, and I have so many acquaintances, and I love having all of the people. But my inner circle, and I think that's where maybe my wing 6 or just me personally, I love to get intimate with those people. I'm like, I need you to tell me that how I'm feeling is okay, because that's the security that I need. I also manifest the 6 because I overthink everything, and I am quick to act, but I overthink everything.
And for everybody else, you all are 7-wing 8s. So, 8s are a very aggressive type at times and are really good at sticking up for themselves and for other people. So how do they work together for you?
The 8, when you're trying to be friends with someone, or you're trying to get to know someone, or maybe you're dating someone, a trait of the 8 is a lot of folks will poke at them and sort of nudge them and sort of disrupt them a little bit to see if they'll really stay with them.
I think for me, I really relate to the decisiveness of the 8, but in the same vein, their fear of being controlled. So a lot of times with my partner, I'll make a decision and I'll say, hey, I'm thinking about doing XYZ, to get his input, knowing very well I've already made my decision about I'm going to do this, but I'm just bringing it to you for you to tell me that like it's going to continue.
I'm the oldest of 5, so I was kind of forced to be like the one who looks out for everybody, the leader, be assertive and stuff like that. And then as well as like, I don't know, I guess I kind of relate with 6s as well as with family. Like that's huge for me. And then I would say like I've done, what Olivia is talking about, kind of like putting those ideas out there to kind of see like, do you agree? Like how are you going to react here? Like, and then in my head, it's like, well, in 20 years, how are you going to react? Like, especially, if it's like your boyfriend or whatever.
So for sisters that are watching this, that are 7s, what are some strategies that you all use to slow down and take in the moment?
It's incredibly forced, first of all. Like, it's not going to come naturally. And I think to set that expectation on yourself where, like if you're anything like me, where you kind of take it personally of like, why can't you do this? Why can't you just enjoy this? Why? And you start this like negative self-talk and this spiral. It's not going to do you any good, because it's okay that it's not hardwired in you.
One of them would be photographs, like taking pictures of the things that I do. It's caused me to really think about my environment, where I am, who I'm talking to, and all of those things. And the second thing is journaling, even though that's a lot of times reflective and it's looking back on a past moment. It's allowed me to really dive into some of the emotions that I have, or things that have been bothering me, or those things that I'm not really as front and open with people.
So what I have found helpful specifically is a gratitude journal. And it's this one that I fill in 3 things a day. And I often have to go back to look at those, to like the pictures that you just said, to say, oh, here's what I was thankful about on this day, because I just missed the moment.
For those of you that may not know, there is an artist called Sleeping at Last that released a song for each Enneagram type. They are excellent songs. You will probably cry. But I pulled a stanza from the 7 song and I'd like to read it to you now. And I just want to hear if you agree, if you disagree, your general thoughts. So it says, "Let me tell you another secret of the trade. It feels like sinking when I'm standing in one place. So I look to the future and I book another flight. When everything feels heavy, I've learned to travel light."
Yes.
So good.
Yeah, that's like one of my like favorite parts of the song. The avoiding behavior that we do when we're talking about when everything feels heavy, I've learned to travel light. That I think that's nodding to the the heaviness and the avoidance and the dark places that we've learned to travel light. So in other words, we've learned a way to live with it and to navigate around it.
It also talks about, I think the first line was like the secret, like we have a secret that we want to let you all know that like works for us, right? Like this is something that is so good that we continue to rely on, traveling light and not standing still. And I kind of take the traveling light too as like light as in things, but light as in emotions, right? We don't want the heaviness. We don't want the darkness.
There's another line that's actually my favorite line in the song. Since we're talking about it, I have to say it, but it's a secret handshake between me and my one life. And for me, it's like this joyful Christmas morning secret that we hold inside of us that we that's just ours.
This is my last question for you today, but I would love to know, what is something that you wish people knew about being an Enneagram 7, and how can that help other people be better friends to you?
What I want people to know is that I want to experience life to the fullest and avoid pain at all costs. I think that's really encompassing of the 7 and encompassing as myself. So I think people can help me do that by really giving me opportunities to take the opportunities that present themselves naturally. So that's what I want people to know. And I want people to encourage me to do those things because that's what I'm seeking and that's what fulfills me as an individual.
We get written off a lot for being uppity all the time. We get written off for having these rose-colored lenses and maybe not even being down to reality all the time. But just to have people that love us know that we are deep wells full of everything. It's just that we haven't always felt the freedom to really openly express those. And so if you would just ask us, if you would just engage us beyond, hey, how you doing? Or just not just rely on us for that uplifting, but if you would just take a minute and recognize that there's so much more to us.
Yeah, I totally agree with both of you. I don't know a better way to say it, honestly. There's just more than meets the eye. I think we need a safe place to feel like ourselves. And so being given that opportunity is super important for 7s.
We truly love to do so many different things, not just because we are, avoiding pain, that's one of them, but also because we generally have this curiosity. We want to know more, we want to gather more, we want to seek more. And so however we can grow and however we can kind of build this life that we want to create, we really think the sky's the limit and that we can do anything that we put on the list. And so the curiosity is real, and those emotions and excitement that comes with everything is truly, truly authentic with a 7. So
it has been incredibly lovely getting to know you all tonight and getting to learn more about being a type 7. Thank you for your authenticity and your enthusiasm. These are gifts that you have been given. Thanks for being in this sisterhood with me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, ladies.
Thank you so much for checking out this video in the Sigma Kappa Enneagram video series. If you want to learn more about the other types or about the Enneagram in general, make sure to check out the other videos. Bye!